So week 8, and we're going to explore mindfulness and consistency of practice. Daily mindfulness practice. So in our culture, we have built-in rituals for pausing to celebrate success or achievement. Harder to acknowledge and honor our losses, transitions that arise out of uncertainty and pain, or failure, which is often code for things not working out the way we had wanted them to. And yet it's these moments of difficulty that we refine and hone the qualities that are most essential to our humanity. It's here that we develop compassion and empathy, and we learn and practice how to come back into balance and stability and calm. So we're going to explore this side of mindfulness in not looking at the difficulties, but looking at the mundane. So mindfulness can hold the key to real enjoyment. It's clinically proven time after time that mindfulness-based meditation is beneficial both for mental health and physical health. The simple process of focusing the attention onto the present, and in particular around our breath, again and again and again. So we're going to explore that within a breath practice today. And the idea behind it is that we go through our days on autopilot with our mind often concentrating on something completely different to the task we're currently performing. How often are you watching TV whilst also deciding what to wear that day, or doing admin while replaying the conversation you had with a friend? In our busy lives, it's tempting to think that these mundane tasks allow precious extra time for the thinking mind to get all its thinking done. But multitasking like this actually lowers our IQ and hinders the brain's performance. The preciousness is in the mundane tasks themselves, in the ability to use them as a pause, and indeed to find snippets of joy in rediscovering them all over again. So as I said, we're going to practice a mindful breathing exercise together. And during this, we're going to pay close attention to the physical sensations throughout your body when you're observing your breath. And we're going to explore the breath in detail together. Remembering that the goal isn't to change or to relax your body, but instead to notice and become aware of it. So offering this compassion and kindness to what we find, to what we notice with our breath in our body. And then this week, the home practice is going to be a mindfulness in the mundane. So picking the most boring activity, perhaps you have to do daily, and bringing mindful attention to it. So something that you do on autopilot that you don't have to think about, or perhaps have those moments where, did I do that? Like brushing our teeth or putting moisturizer on. An activity that we don't have to pay attention to. So I'm going to invite you to think about something to take forward over the week to do paying mindful attention to, in the same way that we're going to do within the practice. And I'm also going to invite you to do that 3-minute breathing space at 3 regular intervals within your day. So mundane, we're really going to celebrate the mundane this week. So let's begin by bringing our attention to the moment, arriving in our bodies. Acknowledging that you've taken the time out of your busy day to be here, to practice mindfulness, and that's not easy. That creating this space for ourselves is not easy. So honouring and congratulating yourself in creating and carving this space for ourselves, that we're taking an active step in taking care of our own health and well-being. Simply arriving in your body. And an invitation to take an internal weather report. How are you? The thoughts, the feelings, the sensations that you notice. What's here? What's present? And just checking that you're not holding any tension in your forehead, your eye sockets, that your jaw isn't clenched, that your shoulders aren't up by your ears, or wherever you have a tendency to hold tension, an invitation to let that go. If you have a habit of holding in your belly, letting that go. Obviously, we need to do what we can to maintain our posture. There will be tension. There will be muscles that are working. But letting go of holding on to any unnecessary tightening, tension, that we can fall into the habit of within our bodies. So an invitation to scan from your head to your arms, your back, your belly, your left leg and your right leg. And just check in with yourself. What stands out? What's quiet? Resting in stillness and honoring this vessel that carries us. Now an invitation to narrow your attention to your breath. So not changing the rhythm in any way, simply dropping into the mundane and magnificence of our breath. Our breath that keeps us alive. And if the breath doesn't feel like somewhere you want to rest today, knowing that you can explore this from the sidelines, sort of from the edges, perhaps finding somewhere neutral within the body that you can explore and observe your breath sort of at a distance. Now an invitation to bring your attention to your in-breath in particular. Perhaps finding a point within the breath to focus on in particular, or maybe following the whole flow of that in-breath. Noticing the air as it travels into your body. Bringing a kind welcome to your experience. Being an impartial witness to yourself. What do you notice in the in-breath? And you can count if that's helpful. Either before or after the in-breath. Maybe as you're breathing in. From 1 up to 10 and back to 1 again. Each time your mind wanders, lost in stories and busyness and to-do lists, etc., etc. Congratulating yourself for noticing, because this is the key to the mindfulness practice, that noticing. This is where we build those neural pathways, when we notice and we simply bring ourselves back. This isn't an opportunity to judge or criticize yourself, but simply bringing yourself back to your direct and felt experience of your in-breath and counting if that feels right for you. Remembering that you don't need to count. That doesn't feel right for you. Being completely open to the now. Your in-breath. And now an invitation to move your awareness away from the in-breath, bringing your direct attention to your out-breath. Perhaps you focus on the same point of the breath, but observe the out-breath. Perhaps you follow the whole flow as your body squeezes the air out. Maybe you're observing from the sidelines, from your knee, being playful. The breath isn't somewhere that you want to rest your attention. Is there somewhere within the body that you can observe it from the sidelines? And again, an invitation to count from 1 up to 10. That feels right for you. The average before the mind wanders is 3. So remembering to be kind to yourself. Minds wander. It's their job. That's what they do. And we're noticing with kindness and curiosity. Each time we notice our mind has wandered, we return it back to the out breath, into counting, if that feels right for you. Practicing present moment awareness, very specific and deliberate way. Remembering that there's no right or wrong way of doing these practices. We're learning to listen and to pay attention to our bodies, stepping from our overanalyzing, judging, criticizing minds into simply being. Your body and your experience of your out breath is as much a part of your experience of living as the stories of the mind. We're taking this time to observe and to notice our direct experience of being in our bodies and observing our out breath. The mundane, the ordinary, quite how extraordinary we truly are. Now an invitation to bring your attention to your breath as a whole and counting, if that feels right for you, of following the flow of your breath as you breathe in and pause and breathe out and pause. Noticing that the mind wanders and returning yourself with kindness, but firmly back to the present moment and your experience of your breath within your body as you follow the whole flow and count if that feels right for you. Thoughts intrude. Perhaps say, I'll attend to you later. And return your attention back to following your breath, the full flow of your breath. Noticing where the mind goes and returning yourself firmly and kindly back to the present moment awareness of the breath. Minds wander. It's what they do, it's their job. To be kind to yourself, noticing your habits, noticing where you go, and returning your attention over and over to your breath. Perhaps observing that each breath is like a snowflake, no two are the same. And that your breath is always there for you as something to anchor, drop into any moment within your day. And now letting go of paying attention to anything in particular around the breath, allowing the breath to breathe itself and expanding your awareness to include all of your body, your breath in your body. Where do you begin and end? And again, taking a moment to honor the time that you've created and carved out for yourself. Your breath in your body in this moment. And resting in stillness. I'm going to close the practice with a poem by Patricia Fleming. Each moment is precious. Live in the moment. Just take it all in. Pay attention to everything right there and right then. Don't let your mind wander to what's coming next. Cherish this moment and give it your best. Don't let tomorrow make you rush through today, or too many great moments will just go to waste. And the person you're with in that moment you share, give them all your focus, be totally there. Laugh till it hurts, let the tears drop. Fill up each moment with all that you've got. Don't miss the details, the lesson is there. Don't get complacent, stay sharp and aware. It can take but a moment to change your life's path. And once it ticks by, there's no going back. In just 60 seconds, you may make a new friend, find your true love, or see a life start or end. You become who you are in those moments you live. And the growth's not in taking, but in how much you give. Life is just moments, so precious and few. Whether valued or squandered, it's all up to you. So moving, stretching, massaging, listening to what you need. I'm going to open the space up. Stop the recording. So an invitation to pause and reflect on your direct experience and perhaps send me an email. So if you do need any help thinking about a mundane activity, please do reach out. And I will put the link to the 3-minute breathing space for you in the box to the side of the screen. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, well done for having found the time for yourself to practice. I will see you next week.